through the M18 FUEL Finish Nailer program. We're going to get to the miter saw, if anybody was here last year at the media event. And then we're going to get you over to the drywall tools as well as the polisher before you head over to the OPE section. So thank you again. I'm going to turn over to Sean, and we'll have hands-on time and question time once we go through both products here. So,
all right. Thank you for coming. Really excited to be here today to be able to talk to you guys and introduce the group to our M18 FUEL Finish Nailers. I know that some of you may have had an opportunity to get your hands on some of these already. You may have seen a little bit about them, but really excited to introduce the whole lineup here to the group. So we'll go through them first. We have 4 different models here. We have an 18 gauge brad nailer, a 16 gauge straight finish nailer, a 16 gauge angled nailer, and a 15 gauge nailer as well. So the big question here is why nailers, right? As Milwaukee continues to grow and continues to expand in different categories, you'll see a huge investment from us moving forward into carpentry and remodel. When it comes to nailers specifically, our users right now and your readers right now are primarily using pneumatic. Those who are using cordless generally use them in a supplementary fashion. The reason being is there's some limitations for what cordless can do right now, whether it be power, speed to fire, and then also cost of ownership. So what we aim to do here and what we're able to deliver with our M18 FUEL Finish Nailers is to leverage our fuel technology and our M18 platform to give a true battery-operated cordless option that wouldn't leave a user underwhelmed when they're switching from their pneumatics to their cordless. So what exactly is it that we heard from our users and heard from all of your readers that they wanted out of these cordless tools? There's a handful of things that kept coming up. The first is power. So what users wanted was the power to be able to switch to this cordless tool and be confident that it will perform in the toughest applications that their pneumatics can. We'll run a demo here in a few minutes where you'll see us fire a 2-inch nail, sub-flush consistently into our 4x4 of oak, where some of the cordless competitors can't stack up there. Speed to fire is the next big thing. When we say speed to fire, we're talking about finish nailers. We're not talking about how fast you can get a bunch of nails into a workpiece. More, it's how quickly do you get a nail when you pull the trigger. Users, again, are used to using their pneumatics where you're getting a nail almost instantaneously. With our ready-to-fire technology and our M18 FUEL Finish Nailers, when you pull that trigger, you're going to get a nail almost as quickly as you will with a pneumatic. It's almost instantaneous. So that's a huge win for our users as well. The third piece here is cost of ownership. So you guys probably see this sitting on the table. You may be familiar with some of these. Some of the cordless options in the marketplace today work on a gas cartridge system, so it's a combustion system. There's a couple of drawbacks here. One, it's very expensive to run these tools. This will run you anywhere between $8 and $10, depending on where you're buying and what you're buying. There is a shelf life on these. They give you about 1,000 shots per charge, but if they're stored in hot, cold areas, they're stored just for a long period of time, they will expire. They dirty up the gun quite a bit as well, so these nailers will spend a lot of time in maintenance, being cleaned and whatnot, so that's a big drawback for the users. Very expensive for them to use it long term. And the last piece here is runtime. So we understand that whenever we're asking users to go from a corded to cordless solution, or in this case pneumatic to cordless, that we need to provide the runtime for them to be productive throughout their workday. So these nailers will be shipping as a kit with 2 amp-hour batteries. The reason being is we did quite a bit of research to understand how many nails need to be fired throughout a workday. We can get about 1,200 shots per charge of the 18 gauge nailer here on the 2 amp-hour battery, about 800 shots per charge on both of our 16 gauge nailers, about 700 shots per charge on our 15 gauge nailer. Now, will this work on the rest of our M18 batteries? Absolutely. We think that we can get the large majority of a day's worth of work done on a 2.0 platform, but it'll absolutely work with any of our M18 tools. I'm going to give you a quick tool walk around. We'll run through our demo, and at the end we'll be able to go through some questions after Tyson goes through the miter saws here. A couple of things that I want to point out. So being that this is always in a ready to fire position, we have an on and off switch in the back. So you'll hold this button here quickly. About 2 seconds, when you get your 2 green lights, that's going to show you that it's on, it's in sequential fire mode. So that means you're depressing the nose, you're pulling the trigger, you get a nail. Now we do have a bump fire feature on here. You hit the button again when that light's blinking, that'll put you into bump fire. Not a feature that our finished carpenters use very, very commonly, but it is a nice to have feature on here for those who want to use it. You have a depth set roller on the side of the tool here. It's a workpiece contact, so it's going to move the nose closer or farther away from the actual workpiece. Take the battery out here. If you do happen to have a jam with any of these tools, really easy jam clearance. You open the bail on the top of the tool here. You have access right to the top of that tool. Take your jam out, close it back up, and you're ready to go. Put the battery back in, turn it on. You're ready to fire. Last part here is our adjustable belt clip. You can have it on the left or right side based on preference or how you want to use the tool. So we'll run our demo here quickly. The first competitive tool we're going to be using is a 16 gauge cordless model from one of our cordless competitors. Be mindful as I go through this demo of the ramp up time, the time to actually fire this nail, and how it performs. So you see there's a little bit of ramp up time. This tool works very differently than ours, and it will consistently leave the 16 gauge nail a good 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch proud. Next competitor here is an 18 gauge model. So this is going to be a little bit smaller nail. Again, same system. It works a little bit differently, but you'll still have that same ramp up time, and you also have smoother core performance. So again, not getting a nail right away. I mean, these are smaller nails, and again, they're still being left pretty proud. The last one here, the combustion system, this will perform quite a bit better. This is going to be the type of performance that users want out of a cordless tool. It may not be as consistent as our M18 FUEL Nailers. That said, all the drawbacks that come along with cleaning and maintenance all have to do with this cartridge system. So lastly, we're going to fire our 18 gauge nailer. Turn it on here, and you'll see that you'll get a nail as soon as I pull the trigger, and we'll consistently be able to fire this flush or sub flush. Now that's our 18 gauge. You can see that we are nice and sub flush here in that workpiece. We can do that across all 4 of these different tools. You'll absolutely all get a chance to get hands on here and to try all of these. Just want to stress that this is our first go at our nailing program here. We're certainly going to be out. I'll be out in the next couple of weeks learning more, and you'll see a lot more from us moving forward here. It's going to be an exciting category for us. So. We'll get you over to Tyson. He'll walk you through the miter saws, and then after that, we'll have some time for questions and hands-on.
All right, so everybody.